days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the show. We're going to be going over all of the playoff scenarios, Alex. And yeah, there's a plethora of them. I thought this was a little bit easier than it was going to be. However, it is definitely not. And we are going to get into all these scenarios. We're going to break it all down so that everyone can see what is going on.
True.
And we can really, see what the 49ers are getting themselves into. I don't know if anyone knows this or not, but playoffs are just around the corner. So this Los Angeles Rams 49ers game has a lot of meaning, but apparently so does every other playoff potentially altering game, and there's 5 of them in total.
There's 5 of them in total, and let's go through those 5 games. There's 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. There's Cowboys at the Eagles. There's Panthers at the Buccaneers. There's Seahawks at the Cardinals, and there's Saints at the Falcons. Surprisingly, Ant, the Cutback crew is picking 4 of those games this week for Lock It Up. The 4 of the 5 games they were picking already. So you knew 4 of them already. Congratulations. You just didn't maybe realize that Panthers Buccaneers had a little bit more implication than it does, because I know I didn't. I know I did not realize it, but there are 7, technically 6 different outcomes, I guess, in theory, but there are 7 different ways that this could go that results in an outcome for the 49ers that doesn't end up actually being 49ers Rams, which is a little surprising to me, because you and I were like trying to wrap our heads through the whole scenario. It's just like, it just feels like it keeps coming up 49ers Rams. That's who you got. No, sir. No, that is incorrect. So we're going to go through all of these matchups first. I'll break down a little bit, I guess, of the standings after we talk about the matchup itself, the outcome. And then after we go through all of these, we're going to kind of, I guess, go with what we think would be the best thing for the 49ers at this point in time. But Ant, what's the first one that you got there?
Yeah, the very first one requires, a few teams to win, but they seem very plausible to me.
True.
49ers, Bucks, Cardinals win. So that's what you need. Just those win. You don't need anyone else to lose. And the Niners are at Arizona. Interesting
situation. So because of those 3 wins too. So if the Niners win, Niners would beat the Rams, Cardinals win against Seattle, that throws, I guess, Arizona up. It has them winning the NFC West.
Right.
And then the Bucks beating the Panthers throws them up into the 2 seed because the Rams will have bumped out. So the final standings would be Green Bay 1, Tampa 2, Arizona 3, Dallas 4, the Rams 5, and the Niners 6, and Philadelphia 7. So that would give the 49ers, Arizona in the first round. That's pretty crazy. I didn't think that was a possibility, Ant.
I thought Arizona was pretty much locked into that wild card spot, but the big win over the Cowboys last week has lasting implications, and now it could be 49ers Arizona, which I absolutely don't hate. I actually think that's a winnable game for the 49ers, and something I wouldn't mind them traveling to a very nice facility there in Arizona that they're familiar with.
Oh, and also the Arizona Cardinals have absolutely struggled to win at home this year. They have struggled at home. Also hard to beat a team 3 times in one season, Ant.
It is hard to beat a team 3 times in one season.
I don't hate that matchup. The next one on the docket is if the 49ers, Cowboys, and Bucks all win and the Cardinals lose, Ant, what happens?
Then the 49ers are at Dallas. But there's a little bit of an extra, caveat there. So the 49ers would have to beat the Rams. The Cowboys have to beat the Eagles. The Bucks have to beat the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
And the Cardinals need to lose to the Seattle Seahawks. Russ has to get one over on them. If that happens, 49ers at Dallas Cowboys.
Green Bay finishes 1, Tampa 2, Dallas 3. The Rams finish with the NFC West in the 4th seed. They go from 2 all the way to 4, Ant. That is nuts. Arizona at 5, San Francisco 6, Philadelphia 7. The Cowboys were red hot there, and then they turned around and lost to the Cardinals. This is another one that I don't necessarily hate. I don't necessarily hate this matchup. But the strength of the Cowboys is that receiver room and the plethora there. Now, Michael Gallup being hurt and probably done for the year. Maybe not as scary as they were just a few weeks ago. But that's interesting situation. I knew that there was probably a way that it could get done. I feel like that's probably the least likely scenario. And it's not because, I don't think the Bucs and the Cowboys can't win their football games. It's more of, right, the Cardinals losing to the Seahawks.
Yeah, it just all depends. I mean, Russ and them, they cooked last week.
They did.
So you never know. Maybe
50 points.
Maybe because they don't have anything left to lose, they're just going out there to play spoiler. This is a situation that would work out for the 49ers and possibly work out for the Rams as well, as they would still win the division and then have a home game against Arizona, who they've played well against recently. So, I mean, this could kind of, work out for the Niners. And if the Niners were able to knock off the Cowboys in round one, they could set them going up to Lambeau Field, for the divisional round and playing the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau.
Very well could be the case, Ant, and I always love me a good Niners in Green Bay.
It just feels very 90-ish, right? Cowboys, Packers.
What a gauntlet. What a gauntlet run that would be.
Yeah, and who would it lead into? Would it lead into the Los Angeles Rams, or would it ultimately lead into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I mean, Tampa would be the 2 seed in that scenario, right? So Tampa
minus
has
them getting upset by the Eagles, which would then the 49ers wouldn't go to Lambeau, of course.
No, then they go to Dallas or the Rams.
They would already have played Dallas. They would go to Los Angeles.
Oh, excuse me. They would go to Los Angeles or Arizona, whoever won that game.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that is an interesting conundrum there.
It really is.
What's the next one on the docket after that?
The next one requires the 49ers and Cardinals to win. So there's not a whole lot to this one.
Okay.
49ers and Cardinals to win and the Bucs to lose. And then the 49ers are at Tampa Bay.
Ooh, 49ers would travel to Tampa. So in that scenario, then Green Bay's 1, Arizona's 2, Tampa's 3, Dallas 4, the Rams 5, obviously, and then the Niners and the Eagles rounding out 6 and 7. That would be an interesting one and extremely favorable at this point in time, based on what we know is going on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I keep saying I don't see Tampa losing to that Panthers team. I mean, anything could happen, and they are kind of out of sorts at the moment. They really, truly are.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to get from Tampa Bay. You never know what you're going to get from an interdivision game.
True.
But really, I mean, Carolina hasn't showed anything that makes you think they could actually beat Tampa Bay.
No.
But I didn't believe that, other teams were going to shut Tampa Bay out either, and they did. So you just never know what's going to happen in the NFL. That's why you play the football games, and you don't know what the Bucs are thinking either. Will they decide to rest Tom Brady? Will they, kind of pull their foot off the gas? You got all the distractions going on with A.B.
They just need to get healthy, and they're just like, you know what? We're in already. We've already won the division. We got a home playoff game in the first round. That's all we care about.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what their thoughts are. If they don't think they can get the 1 seed, they might just sit back and rest and not worry about any sort of home field advantage situation.
It's true. There's a little caveat here. It says, too, if the 49ers win and the Bucs, Cowboys, Cardinals all lose, L.A. would win the NFC West and would flip position with the Cardinals, but the Niners playoff game would remain the same. So in that exact scenario, Ant, in which the 49ers win, Bucs, Cowboys, and Cardinals all lose, LA wins the NFC West still, and they would jump to the 2 seed, but the Niners would still play Tampa in that first round game. That's an interesting thing to keep in mind and remember for 49ers fans as well. The next
one,
one,
of stuff, man.
A lot going on here. You're welcome,
Yeah.
Cutback crew. You're welcome. If the 49ers and Cowboys win, Ant, Bucs and Cardinals lose, what happens then?
Then the 49ers are at the Los Angeles Rams for a second week.
Yeah.
So they would have to beat the Rams for a third time. And you know what? I thought this was kind of just the foregone conclusion that it was Niners versus Rams.
Yeah.
And this is the first time out of the situations that we've went through so far that we've gotten to a conclusion that it's 49ers versus Rams.
True.
So I thought it was more played out. It's not. There's so many things that are gonna play out, in this last week of the season. I think the NFL's got to be happy overall with all these scenarios taking place.
True. And in this scenario, Green Bay is 1, Dallas is 2, the Rams are 3, Tampa is 4, Arizona 5, Niners 6, Philly 7. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of it this way, that in order for it to happen, right, the Bucs have to lose. Bucs and Cardinals both technically, in theory, have to lose, and the Rams hold on to the spot. There's a lot there. Maybe this Niners-Ram matchup in the first round isn't as set in stone as we thought, because that's a lot of things that need to happen just for the Rams to play the 49ers.
It's definitely not set in stone. There's a lot that's going to go into this, but it's all predicated on a 49ers so far win. Notice the first 4 scenarios that we've went through is 49ers need to win against the Los Angeles Rams.
True.
Win the football game and let the cards, kind of play out as they lie. Play the ball as it lies, as it would be.
Accurate, Ants. Now, here are 2 scenarios in which the Niners lose, make the playoffs, and have themselves an opponent. And there are 2 scenarios. and there are two different outcomes. So even if the Niners lose and the Saints lose, the Niners still, in theory, don't necessarily play one team. So if the 49ers and Saints lose and the Cowboys win, what happens?
Then the 49ers are at the Bucs.
Oh boy.
So probably this is the more likely of the situations if the 49ers and Saints both lose.
Yes.
Is that the Cowboys win against the Philadelphia Eagles, and that means the 49ers travel to Tampa Bay to play the Buccaneers.
True. That's most likely what would happen. I'm assuming that's also probably predicated on a Tampa win as well. I would imagine. I think if Tampa loses, then Dallas probably could jump up, and it may be Dallas.
Well, it might be the Bucs have a tiebreaker over Dallas.
Maybe that's what.
Because they are a game behind right now.
Oh, and they did beat them in week 1.
There you go. So
there it is. So that's why. That's why that is that way.
Yeah.
And what's the last matchup there?
The last one is the 49ers lose, the Saints lose, and the Cowboys lose. And in that situation, the 49ers are at the Rams.
They would be at the Rams. This is also the only situation in which the Niners fall to the 7th seed. And Eagles win over the Cowboys to get them a game up. The Saints lose, keeps them a game behind the Niners. And the Niners now are a game back of the Eagles, so they're now the 7. The Los Angeles Rams in this scenario would be the 2 seed, and the Niners would be playing the 2 seed Ant the second straight week. You would be coming off of a loss, I guess, in theory. So yeah, I guess the whole, you can't beat a team 3 times kind of goes out the window because now you're playing for keeps. But if you're the Niners, you don't want to risk that.
Yeah, I mean, which one of these scenarios do you think is the most likely? I'm going through them, and I mean,
they're all dude. The most likely of scenarios, right? Is I honestly feel it's the first one. Niners, Bucks, Cards win. You play Arizona. That feels like the most reasonable one of the 3. Bucks having the Panthers, Niners can beat the Rams, and the Cardinals. I mean, in theory, should be able to beat the Seattle Seahawks, especially after the game they just put up against the Cowboys. It feels like the most reasonable, but I don't know, man.
I think you're right. I think that's the most reasonable 49ers win, and I think that the second scenario I actually see that's the most reasonable after that is actually Niners, Saints lose, Cowboys win, and the 49ers go to the Bucs. I think those are to me the 2 that stand out the most as the more likely. However, I am concerned about the Atlanta Falcons defeating New Orleans Saints, especially with the injury to Pitts.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult. It's going to be very difficult. If you're the Niners, you just need to take care of business. And there is no wait to see. You can't have a wait and see approach. You really can't. All you can do is go out and win the football game. Both teams play at the same time. But it's crazy. Earlier this week, and even Sunday after the game, you and I both said it's basically the Rams. That's what it's looking like. It's the Rams in the first round.
I really thought it was.
I was convinced. This now coming out, Ant, it's not looking like the Rams. There's only, 2 scenarios?
There's 2 scenarios
of the
Rams.
7? 2 of the 7 that are the Rams.
Interesting fashion. There's 2 that are the Bucs. There's 2 that are the Rams. 1 that's Dallas and 1 that's Arizona. And we believe that the most likely scenario is Arizona.
Yeah.
That's the most likely that Arizona beats the Seattle Seahawks.
If there was a way that Niners and Cardinals could win and the Bucs could lose on Sunday and we play Bucs in the first round, I think of all of the matchups, that's the one I actually want.
That's the one you want the most?
I want that Bucs matchup. They are injured to heck and back, distractions galore. I mean, talk about, an opportunity for Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, I get it. It's Tom Brady in the playoffs. I understand. They almost lost to the Jets. They almost lost to the Jets.
I think the NFL would love that matchup. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo versus Tom Brady. I think they would love to get that matchup. Of course, we don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo would play. It could be Trey Lance. But I think that, there's matchups the NFL could build here. Whenever you have 49ers against Arizona, it's division. Against Dallas, it's the old rivalry. Against Tampa Bay, it's Jimmy versus Tom. Against the Rams, it's division rival. Any way you cut it up, they've got something marketable out of these football games. I think they would love to have the 49ers in the playoffs, but the 49ers have to go out there and handle business. But you're right, any one of these situations could come forth. And I did not think that there was this many scenarios that were going to be played out in this Week 18 game. But the 49ers, at least have an opportunity to make the playoffs. But who they play is not going to be determined, until later, because we know that Sunday Night Football game is going to be an AFC battle. But everything that happens during that day, so sometime after the Niners game, we should have a pretty good idea of where they're going to be playing. We're going to know the outcome of the Cowboys-Eagles game the day before. So this is going to be interesting. If the Cowboys beat the Eagles, it kind of starts, it at least eliminates one scenario.
It does. It takes one scenario off the table, Ant, and then we just wait to see what happens with this Niners and with the Saints. Obviously, Niners just take care of business this weekend. But Saints, if you want to do us a favor and absolutely drop the ball and just go down like 21 points early against the Falcons and make every 49ers fan just sit back and be like, we're going to the playoffs, then you know what, that'd be A-okay as well. I don't think any of us are going to be upset about that.
No, 100%. This is going to be one of those times where you're rooting for your football team to win, and at the same time you're watching your phone or watching the ESPN or whatever the bottom line to make sure you see what is going on with that Saints-Falcons game. The one thing I'll say is when those division games are really close always in the NFC South, there is a possibility, that not only can the Panthers beat the Buccaneers, which I don't think is going to happen. I would put that at maybe like a 5% chance or 10% chance, but there is a chance that the Atlanta Falcons could beat the New Orleans Saints if they can get their run game going. If they can get their run game established, then Matt Ryan will be able to execute at a decent level. I mean, I think it would be a lot easier with Pitts, but this is going to come down to the wire. But it'd be a lot easier if the 49ers could get out to a comfortable lead and just handle the Rams.
100%. Just take care of business this weekend, San Francisco, and let's not worry about anything else. Let's not worry about playoff scenarios in which we lose. Let's just focus on the ones in which the Niners win, win. And then it's a 1 in 4 chance of the Rams. It's a 1 in 4 chance with the Bucks, and it's a 1 in 4 chance with the Cardinals, and it's a 1 in 4 chance. You got a 25% chance across the board for every team in the NFC that's not the Green Bay Packers. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll have no idea, but a win is the key. A win, and then whatever team you play depends on how they do in their matchups.
True.
But I'll be honest, did not realize there was going to be so many matchups and so many things that we're going to go into. So I thought this was pretty cut and dry. It was looking like 49ers Rams.
Looking like 49ers Rams, felt like 49ers Rams, right? If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Turns out not a duck. Not a duck at all.
I even read an article that said it was most likely the 49ers would play the Rams first round.
I keep hearing that also, but it's not. It doesn't feel that way.
Well, according to what we just read, that's not the most likely situation.
2 in 7 chance, actually.
Yeah.
2 in 7 chance.
Interesting. So this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to the 49ers, finding out their fate. Playoffs came a week early. Got to go out and get it done if you want to get into the wildcard round, but this is playoff football for the 49ers against the Rams.
100% is Cutback Crew. Let us know about all of these playoff scenarios. Which do you think is the most likely? Which do you think is going to happen? Who are the Niners going to actually end up playing? And who do you want them to end up playing? Comment that down below right now. And then while you're down there commenting away, don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. That way, you're notified for all of the great content. It is a Thursday right now. We got a live stream coming up after this. It's not a Thursday, and it's a Wednesday, isn't it? It is a Wednesday.
Yeah,
man.
You got a live stream tomorrow coming up.
True. My days are all mixed up. I'm stressed. I'm stressed this week. Yeah. The Niners are. This is serious. It's season 2 of the 49ers Cutback, and we could have playoff content. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you were getting a full day ahead of yourself. You were inching really close to the Friday Frenzy, but no, that's not here yet.
That's got some time.
Yeah,
that's got some time. So look, live stream tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. You don't want to miss that. Live Q&A, news from the day. I mean, it's up to date. It's fantastic.
Bring all the questions.
All of the questions. But what they don't want to miss either, Ant. They don't want to miss either is tomorrow's daily. You don't want to miss tomorrow's daily with more information coming your way. What's going on with this team? What happened in Wednesday's practice? Right? Is Jimmy Garoppolo practicing? Is Maurice Hurst, Emmanuel Mosley, Dre Greenlaw? Are they all out there? Are they back? Mohamed Sanu? We're going to have a wide receiver controversy going on at who's wide receiver 3. I mean, there's tons of great info coming your way tomorrow. And then also the Friday Frenzy, like you mentioned. Always fun.
Yeah, Friday Frenzy is going to be back in full force. I'm excited for it. Madden Simulation. We're going to get the game preview show out there. And then, of course, know your opponent. You're going to get some live video. And then, Jay in the Bay doing his What's Good thing. It'll be exciting.
Regular season finale, season finale of What's Good with Jay in the Bay, and hopefully some playoff Jay in the Bay, playoff What's Good.
We need bonus content. The only way we're going to get a Friday Frenzy again is if the 49ers can make it to the playoffs. So Niners need to get it done, beat the Los Angeles Rams, so we can get some playoff content next week, which would be super hyped up, and I'm excited for it. But I'm excited for this game, and I think as this week goes on, the tension is going to keep building. It's going to get more and more exciting. This is what you want, right? Kyle Juszczyk said it. You want meaningful football in the last week of the regular season. And that's what you're going to get from the 49ers. And if you'd have told us after the 4-game losing streak, or not us, but so much some of the fan base, that this was a situation they were going to be in, I don't think a lot of people thought it was a possibility. But here we are. It's the case, and everyone's on board, and the 49ers faithful is out there in full force, ready to go out and get this win. So let's see which one of these scenarios, come true. But I'm excited that we got to go through it, and I'm hoping that everyone at least now understands what the 49ers need to do and what is at stake and what matchups they could potentially have.
Tons of matchups, tons of possibilities, and 49ers, do it for the Cutback crew. Just do it for the Cutback crew. We want another Friday Frenzy. I would prefer a handful more Friday Frenzies, to be honest with you. Not just one more, a few more. A Super Bowl Frenzy would be pretty fantastic and pretty phenomenal, 49ers. So handle that for the Cutback crew. We really appreciate it. And Cutback crew, we'll see you tomorrow for even more 49ers content. And until then, stay safe.
Remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.